Hello, this is a video diary of what happened at JPS Wells Springs Hospital. When I went, I experienced a lot of corruption. When I got there, the officer in that other video that I recorded made my stay involuntary when it was supposed to be voluntarily that I was there. So they changed that. The officers also demanded to see my paperwork so they could ensure that none of the crimes that I was reporting that the police department was committing would be investigated, or no one would help me with that. So police were there demanding to be off of my experience at the hospital. So the officer that I reported said, what brought you here? And I said, I don't want to speak with the police. You can't diagnose me. I would like to speak with doctors. Why are you here? Because the paramedic took me there, not the police department. So they met me there at the hospital in their corruption and criminal activity. So anyway, she said, well, we're going to make your stay involuntary. So they kept me there all this time, lied, and I have the paperwork now. All one would have to do is a proper investigation. They made the stay involuntary, would not let me go to court. I then lied and said that I denied my right to go to court to the attorney. I never met an attorney. And the doctor that they said did it, I didn't see that doctor. So then after that, they could only hold me a certain amount of time. So then they made a problem with my medication. The doctor put me on Risperdal. This is procedural, this experience that I have. So they had me on Seroquel, and they wanted to ensure conflict. So they also put me on Risperdal, knowing that I wouldn't want to take it because it's the same medication. But I told the doctor, and I have the paperwork, I'll show you. I told the doctor that I did not have rights. So I'll go ahead and take the medication, even if it's both the same medication. So they had me on Risperdal and Seroquel, similar medication. They made a mistake, not realizing what they were doing. I don't know. But then they didn't realize that, those are two medications, so of the same medications, and you should not be doing that. But they did it anyway. Okay, the order of protective custody and appointment, attorney. I don't know who that doctor is. I don't know who the Jedwiga Plumuk, MD. I don't know that person. They just throw any name in there in the corruption. Order of protective custody and appointing an attorney. So if I initiated the conversation with the police, why do they enforce protective custody? Okay. So A. Harris demanded to see my paperwork. It just went out of focus. My experience is incredible. I have all kind of things. I can't get my voicemail. My phone, when people call me, it does not ring. Each time I go to the police department, the police department interrupts me reporting the crimes going on with my phone. Can you imagine how that feels, paying a phone bill and you can't get your calls? You don't get your voicemails. Can you imagine how that feels? It just went out of focus. You just saw it. So that's something I have to sit with. Can you imagine not being able to see your child out of corruption? Can you imagine how that feels? And then you getting arrested at CPS, getting criminal trespasses at all local locations, so you can't report the government's crimes. So I don't know, it just went out of focus. All kinds of crimes are going on with my phone. That's why they keep interrupting me as the provider. The police department comes and enforces that I don't have my proper phone service. So I have to sit and not getting my calls properly, getting my calls approved. Okay, now it's focusing properly. So this is when they said that I was taking the wrong, I needed to take a certain medication. So they had me taking the Risperdal and trying to pause it while I get, okay. It says patient was having housing stressors. And was kicked out of the bridge for the day prior. The bridge was corrupt and did not have my name up, even though I was staying there. And then when I asked them to place me somewhere else, the representative would not. So I said they were corrupt. They didn't put that down. So there was multiple different lies. Sabotage was not tried. They said that they tried other medications. They were giving me medications that wouldn't work, that aren't really good medications. So to cover up for that, they said they were giving me Cytopram, which they weren't. This was where it says I waive my right to hearing. I didn't waive my right. I didn't talk to the attorney or the judge. Just do law enforcement. This is where they scheme order for administrative psychoactive medication. Since it was time for me to leave, they had to create conflict. This is where they had me taking both the Risperdal and the Seroquel at the same time, because they wanted to ensure a problem. So if you make me take 2 medications, but I said I'll take them anyway because I didn't have rights. I'll show you where I said that to the doctor. Okay, right here, they said that I was going to jump in front of traffic. I never stated that. And also at JPS, Linda was there from Salvation Army when they said that I was going to jump in front of traffic, but I was sitting at the courtyard. It was a blatant lie, and me trying to report that to the officers is on my page, on my channel. So Linda was there from Salvation Army. She now works at JPS. So Linda stated that I left before I could get my housing at Salvation Army. I said, no, they keep putting me out of places, so I can't get housed. They did this at the bridge. I was finally supposed to get housed. He said at first, Alvin, my caseworker, that he didn't do it right. He apologized. It had me spinning my wheels for months. Then he said that he was going to forward it over to a supervisor. And what they do to keep me from getting housed, they just have places put me out. So I never get it. So that's why I'm forced into homelessness, knowing full blown, well, you would not believe my story. Then all they have to do is put all their counterfeits on my channel for the smear campaign. And if you would believe all these things in the comments, then they can get away with all these racked up felonies that are easily proven if one would do law enforcement. So I know that it's corruption, because how many places do you have to go and then you have missing property? I had missing property at Parkland. Everything came up missing: my clothes, shoes, money, cards, Social Security card, everything. And then they lied and said I was blocking traffic and no one will investigate it. So I'm pausing this. I'm outside. It's pretty hot. My phone is overheating, so I have to finish this later. But anyway, this is what happened. A lot of corruption. And they said that if I have to be on this program. If I don't do this program properly, then they'll go ahead and put me back in the hospital. And I was in the hospital with people that were violent, that like had assaults. And they were supposed to be setting me up with a victim's advocate to speak with. I never saw the victim's advocate. I was supposed to see the victim's advocate June 29th, and they police interrupt me speaking with victims advocates and social workers. So anyway, I'm a little distraught going through these papers. I'm outside, it's hot, my phone's overheating, so this is all that I can show you right now. But like I said, if someone would do an investigation, they can see that there's a lot of corruption that follows me. Police have no right to come to my locations and control them. All of them. Down to me not being able to have access to my daughter when it's blatant lies and you can see it. You know there's something wrong if you go to your phone provider and you say things are going on and the police come and remove you. How many felonies are going to equal an arrest? Anyway, this is a video diary.